Today we are going to talk downwind and we're going to compare subfoiling to the Parawing. Let's go. Thanks so much for joining us on this new YouTube channel. My name is Gwen and today we are going to talk downwind, comparing subfoiling to the Parawing. I feel like downwinding has been around for a long time, but downwind subfoiling has really kind of like put it on the map in the foiling world. Now, a lot of people have been trying to get into it, have been getting into it. The one thing that you probably notice if you've been getting into it is how difficult downwind subfoiling is in terms of skill levels and in terms of just physical ability. It's pretty difficult thing to do. And so even though downwinding is the most fun thing you can do, it's been such a hard like entry level into the sport that a lot of people have like maybe been, giving up on downwinding. And I feel like it's a huge bummer because downwinding is so fun. Then comes along the Parawing, and I feel like that has been like the tool to really allow people to access the downwind magic a lot easier and a lot easier of a learning curve. All of the gear that I always use in my videos is available at wingfoilprocenter.com. If you find value in the content that I produce, I appreciate you checking it out. So let's talk about the differences. Well, first, as you can see, gear size, it's pretty different. Now, what I really love about the Parawing is that it requires pretty much the same setup as you would use for, let's say, winging, maybe the foil drive. So you might already have the quiver that is necessary for the Parawing, where with downwind subfoiling, it is pretty specific. So you are gonna need a bigger board, you are gonna need a paddle. Paddles can be expensive. And of course, when you see the difference in size, that affects traveling as well. Traveling with a downwind board and a paddle is a lot more inconvenient than with a smaller mid-length board. Now, I wanna reinforce the difficulty level on both sides. I do think the downwind subfoiling is a lot more difficult to learn. So if someone today was gonna have a goal of getting into downwinding, what would I recommend? 100% the Parawing over downwind subfoiling for sure. There are some areas that subfoiling has some advantages. Let's talk about light wind or when the wind is not consistent. Subfoil might be a better tool, because if you don't have any more wind, well, you are kind of like stuck with your Parawing. It's not gonna fly, it's not gonna get you to take off. So there are areas where on the ocean, you still have bumps, but the wind can be very up and down or can be so light that it's not really possible with the Parawing. That's when subfoiling has an advantage. You can also use subfoiling when it's glassy, there's no wind at all, but there is waves, you can subfoil. Now we could argue that with your Parawing setup, you have a mid-length, you could prone when it's glassy and you have waves, you could prone with that same setup. So there's a bit of a both benefit on either side, but for sure when it comes to light wind, your downwind subfoil setup is going to be probably a better choice than your Parawing setup. Something amazing about downwinding is it is an adventure. You go from point A to point B, you travel for miles, you are really connected with the ocean, riding bumps. Now, with downwind subfoiling, your only option really is to shuttle. Meet up with people, ride in a car, upwind, and then you ride down. With the Parawing, it's kind of like a lot of people still do the shuttle, but in my opinion, where it has an advantage is it's opening the door to no shuttle downwinders, where you're going to be able to ride upwind and do your own downwinder. It might be perfect in areas that maybe there's a lot of traffic, shuttling takes a long time, or you are on your own, or you don't have that much time and you just want to get a quick out and back, have some fun, get back to work, get back to your family. In this case, the Parawing offers some like really nice advantage. Now, what I've seen on the most popular spots like Hood River, where it's been a bit of a mecca for downwind subfoiling, a lot of people have transitioned to the Parawing, but a lot of people have not quit totally the downwind subfoil activities because of the races. So there's still a lot of interest in downwind races, maybe a bit more prestige into the downwind SUP Foil category than with the Parawing categories. Now, I think the Parawing category on the downwinders is really gonna grow, and we are gonna see maybe two different directions, because there is different ways to race with the Parawing. You can be powered the entire time, more of a sailing race, or you can have a rule of packing it up, riding the swell, and now we are back to using similar skills that we need when we downwind SUP Foil, where it has the physicality of pumping, connecting bumps and everything, the same skill of finding the right bumps and all of that to be the fastest possible. I'm excited to see those kind of races growing, and I think little by little, I think we are gonna see less downwind SUP Foiling, more of the Parawing, for a few reasons. The main reason to me is that it is easier to get into, so more people are gonna get into the Parawing versus the downwind SUP Foil. And when you are up and riding, because really your Parawing and your paddle, you use it to take off. Once you're up and riding, it's about equal field, you are riding the bumps. Now, on one end, you have a small bird, maybe 50, 60, 70 liters. On the other end, you have a much bigger bird, longer, that you need, when you are with the paddle to take off. But you don't really need it once you are up on foil. So that's the advantage of the Parawing, and that's why a lot of people are transitioning from downwind SUP Foiling to the Parawing, is because it really allows you to ride a small bird, and riding a small bird in swell is, brings it back to prone foiling, riding waves with such a small bird. It's such an incredible feeling, and that's why a lot of people choose to switch to the Parawing. So personally, downwind SUP Foiling and the Parawing still have a place in my riding. There are still situations where I choose to downwind SUP Foil, and still situations where I prefer to use the Parawing. I think both are incredibly fun, but if someone was going to start today, I have to say that I would recommend the Parawing to get to the fun part a lot sooner than with downwind SUP Foiling. Now, I really would like to hear about you. What do you do? What do you prefer? In what situation? The goal is really to help everybody out there make a choice on what they should get into. And I hope that this video brought some answers to you and was helpful. Get out there, go have fun, and I will see you guys in the next video.